last year, as Katherine mentioned, we announced that the number of children living in poverty was growing faster in Colorado than in any other state in the nation. It was a troubling trend, and it took a lot of people, especially all of us who believe Colorado should be a great place to be a kid. It took us by surprise. This year, the data shows that in fact the trend has continued and worsened. The number of children living in poverty increased at a rate of 85% between 2000 and 2007, with more than 192,000 children living in poverty in 2007. When we look more closely at that data, we also see that our youngest children are the most likely to be living in extreme poverty, which, to give you some perspective, is about 11,000 for a family of 4. By many different measures, including low educational achievement, health problems, and other challenges, poverty is the largest obstacle for Colorado's youngest citizens. So understanding that and understanding the significant ramifications of kids living in poverty, especially our youngest children, it's time to move beyond awareness and towards finding ways to reduce poverty and mitigate its negative effects. One of those ways is by increasing access to quality childcare, which is the focus of this year's Kids Count. Quality childcare and educational programs both mitigate the negative effects of poverty on young children and help parents keep and find jobs. But for many parents and families in Colorado, quality childcare is simply out of reach. Colorado ranks 8th highest in the nation for the annual cost of center-based infant care and 3rd highest in the nation for the annual cost of care for a 4-year-old. The price of infant care is nearly 50% of a median single-parent income and 15% of two-parent family incomes across Colorado. And I think if you ask any parents out there, they'll confirm that in fact this is a huge problem, huge challenge to their family, no matter what their income range. In many cases, the average child care fees in fact are higher than what families spend on food or housing. So this is clearly an area where we can make a difference. Whether it's by subsidizing childcare, increasing access to full-day kindergarten, or getting rid of the cliff effect, which is what happens when families lose critical supports when their income even slightly exceeds program eligibility limits, or by making sure there are more childcare options for all families available in licensed and quality-rated programs. By helping families lift themselves out of poverty, keeping them from falling into it, and addressing the needs of young children, work supports like quality care play a powerful role in improving our children's well-being. So the 2009 Kids Count report also contains information about other trends, and I hope you'll take the time to look at the report. You can access it on our website at coloradokids.org. But just to give you an idea about a few of them, we see that Colorado again ranks last in the nation for children living in poverty who were uninsured, who didn't have health insurance. And that number, we're at 35% compared to 18% nationally. Among all children, about 14% are uninsured in Colorado, and that was in 2006, which is higher again than the national overall average of 11%. We also see that the high school graduation rate in Colorado, which was just released last week, for 2008 was 74%. And as you'll see in Kids Count, there's an ongoing gap in student achievement based on race, ethnicity, and also based on income. Now there is good news. One example of the good news is that between 2000 and 2007, Colorado had the greatest percent change in the number of 2-year-olds who were immunized, with a 39% increase. And I'd like to particularly thank the Lieutenant Governor for her work in that area. The rate went from 56% to 78%. After being almost at the bottom of that list for years on that measure, this is really a good example of where rallying around the data that comes out in Kids Count can make a difference. You know, these numbers aren't just data, they represent real lives. And children in our state are counting on us not just to gather the data, but to act on the data. So we look forward to working with our partners, community leaders, advocates, all of you here today, and citizens statewide to take these numbers and make a difference.